Welcome back. I'm so happy that you came back to spend some time with me, Moses, as we continue to hear about the wonders of God's creation. Now, if you remember last week when we got together, we talked about how God made the beauty of all this, the universe, in such an incredible way. The light and the dark, the rain and the water, the land and the plants, the sun, the moon, the stars, all those wonderful things, the birds in the air, the fish in the sea. And then he made the animals like the bears and the elephants and the tigers and the monkeys and the squirrels. And then he made the most important part of creation, human beings, man and woman. Well, today I want to tell you a little bit of story about those first human beings. You may know them, their names: Adam, which in Hebrew means dirt man, because he was formed out of the dust, and Eve, the first woman, who was taken from the rib of Adam, and God made her. And they were the first two human beings, and God said to Adam and Eve, "Go, be fruitful, have lots of children, become a big family, have lots of little family people running around all this beautiful creation, so that God would have people to love." And he said, all this in the garden is yours. From the trees, to the grass, to the animals, to the fish, to the birds, anything and everything you want, Adam and Eve, it's there for you. You have to do one thing, though. You have to listen to me, God. You have to come to me first. You have to obey me. And I have one rule that you must always follow. In this beautiful garden, God said to Adam and Eve, there's this tree, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And God said, all the other trees in the garden, you can have, Adam and Eve, you can eat from, you can do whatever you want. But from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you must not take of that fruit. Look at that fruit, huh? It's beautiful, tempting, red, delicious. Well, in the garden, after a while, Adam and Eve and their children were not alone. There were other forces in the universe. And one of them, the prince of darkness as we know him, the devil, took the form of a serpent, a snake. Tss, let me hear you say that. Tss. He slithered into the garden, and he came up to Adam and Eve as they were walking around, enjoying the beauty of God's creation. And he slithered up, and he said to Adam and Eve, "Did God really say, you must not eat of the fruit of that tree?" And Adam and Eve thought about it. And they said, wait a minute. Did he or didn't he say that? And they looked at the beautiful fruit. And they took the beautiful fruit. And Eve, as she looked at it, thought to herself, wow, this fruit must be so delicious. And she took the fruit and she ate it, doing exactly what God told her not to do. Then she took it and brought it to Adam and said, here, have some of the fruit that God said don't eat. And Adam took it. And all of a sudden, they heard footsteps in the garden. They heard the footsteps of God walking in the garden. And God said, did you take of the fruit of the tree that I told you not to take any of? And they hid because they were naked. So they went behind the bushes over here. And they went over here behind these sunflowers. And they tried to hide over here. And everywhere they tried to hide from God. But they couldn't. They couldn't hide from God. He said, I told you not to take of that tree. You were tempted and you disobeyed. And you didn't listen to me. And then he said to the serpent, make the serpent sound for me, who was still slithering in the garden. He said, from now on, serpent, you will crawl around on your belly. You will eat dust. For you are from dust, and to dust you shall return. And to the woman and the man, they said, it's not going to be so easy anymore. You're not just going to be able to walk out and pick fruit and flowers and eat and drink. You're going to have to work now. You're going to have to do all sorts of things to take care of yourself. That's the consequence of you not listening to me anymore. But he said one more thing. He said, even though you disobeyed me, even though you didn't listen to me, even though you broke my trust, I will not leave you or forsake you. He said, I will send someday a child of the woman, and the child of the woman will come and crush the head of the serpent and take care of all the sin and temptation and the evil so that you don't have to worry anymore. And that promise to Adam and Eve, when they fell to temptation and didn't listen to God, would set up the rest of the story of the Bible and start getting us ready to hear the story of Jesus. As we continue on our journey here and jumping in at the port, we'll hear more of that as the weeks go on. Until next week, have a good time, be good to one another, and remember to listen and trust in God and what God says.